Like I said, I will defend it a little bit. Have we talked about Dear Evan Hansen?
At length.
Thought so. My roommate brought it up yesterday. I think people hate stuff just to hate it sometimes.
Good boys. La la la. La la la. Good boys.
I've got an embarrassing one to lead off with.
Speak on a king.
I went and saw Stephen Page live.
I don't know who that is.
It's Ben.
Oh, you've told me about it many times, in
Yes,
fact.
former
And I
lead
do know
singer.
who it is. I just didn't
Yeah,
recognize
the
the
name.
name.
So, go to see the former lead singer of Barenaked Ladies, Le Poisson Rouge.
As a
in the
fully
West Village.
clothed man.
Yes, went with my girlfriend, and I go through the merch line. I always go to merch before the show to be like, oh, I don't want to wait in line afterwards.
Yeah.
Go through the show.
Keep talking.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to
yeah.
turn this lamp off. I hate the way it looks.
Oh, yeah, well, it's fun. Well, very long story, very short. Bawled like a baby when I met him.
Oh, my God.
Like, I mean, could not stop. Didn't expect
That's
it.
so sweet.
It was like a big line to go through the
I think that's
merch
wonderful.
line, and then he was there to like sign stuff right after. Go through the merch line. I'm very excited. I like looked up the date. So embarrassing. I looked up the date of this show. So they have a song called against Barenaked Ladies. They had the first time they were on TV was for the Juno Awards in Canada, and they wanted them to sing If I Had $1 Million, I think they wanted them to sing one of their hits, right? And instead they sang a song they have called Box Set, which is the whole song has got like 4 verses, and it's the life and career of someone who's a one-hit wonder. So it's like every verse is another stage in their career, and they went on stage at this big award show all dressed fully as clowns and did the show. And I've heard him say in an interview like, yeah, it was the most punk rock thing I've probably ever done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And so I was like, I looked up the date because I didn't remember what year it was from, and I was just gonna be like, I wanted to be ready for maybe a cool, I'm
Combo.
you know that I'm a
real
fan that's like I looked up the date. Like I already knew the show, but like I'm like, okay, cool. I could maybe tell him like Jane is the song I like playing the most. All this stuff in my head. And the second I hand him the vinyl, bawl my eyes out.
I think that's amazing.
Dude, it was so bad. Just be like, sure, it's cute because you know me.
Right.
Now picture yourself as a 56-year-old Canadian man. Yeah, but like for me to hulk up to you and be like, your music just means like so much to me. And like I couldn't stop. Like my girlfriend's right there. She's filming the whole thing, bitch. And like she's like, he plays your music like every day. Like it's at this point, it's even relaxing to me. It feels comfortable. And I was like, we go through. I go back to the end of the line, and I'm like, it's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. And he's like,
Of course.
no, it's not embarrassing. It's like an honor. And I'm like, okay, man, thanks.
I'll
And I
go
get
twice
up.
as hard.
Well, we go to like little side. I'm like cleaning myself up. I'm like, I gotta go through that again. Like I can't. That can't be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
That's so
can't be
bad.
it.
And
you did.
and I did.
and you cried
And I
again.
cried again.
Oh my God.
It was much less. She was like, I should have made you wait a little bit longer. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, but the line was going down. I didn't want him to have to wait. Like, so
Yeah.
I ended up spending like $100 on song.
Oh my God.
To be
And
able
I
to
think it's a
shake his
good-
hand again.
I think it's money well spent.
100%.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that is like the reason you're alive. Not
Totally.
even kidding. Like that concert.
Literally.
As I was sitting there, I was like, why don't I do more things? Because, I don't live a life. I just write and do shows, you know
Well,
what I mean, and
yes.
stand up. But, oh my God. Dude. I mean, I just.
But don't you feel
like
you
it.
have to do things to enrich yourself in order to be a better artist?
Yes, 100%. But I don't like make time for that.
Right.
I read a lot, or I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
things
yeah.
with my friends. But it was just like.
And yeah.
But we get there, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to drink. I don't know if I'm going to smoke. I don't know what I'm doing for tonight, And we're waiting outside, and girlfriend goes to smoke, and I just strike a conversation with the guy next to me. We get inside, and I realize the doors were at 7, show was at 8. So we got good seats, because it's like a seated club, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe 35, 40 minutes before. I was like, I think I'm going to go buy a couple airplane bottles. So I left for like 15 minutes, went and got 3 Fireballs to have a buzz, and then just got honestly pretty drunk. So I was like, I don't care, man. Take my credit card. I'm just going to I'm gonna keep drinking and
That's how
enjoying
they
it.
get
And
you.
like, it was the best. It was the absolute best. And like I said, I went and bought stickers before the show so I didn't have to wait in line, but I could support a little bit. And then when he says, I'm going to be at the merch table, I was like, all right, well, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Did you get him to sign anything?
yeah, I have a signed vinyl, and I have a shirt that fits me. He didn't sign that, but that's okay. Like a signed
Yeah.
shirt doesn't last, you
No.
know?
Is
But-
he like your number one of all time?
That band is when they were
Yeah.
together, but yes. Yeah, 100%. And I do love his music now. And Steven, I am so, so sorry for crying and meeting you. And please, if you're scared of me, that's okay. I really feel like I was giving off, like, Lenny vibes. You know, Lenny of Mice and Men. Like, I was going to try to hug him. And
I don't know what that. I
Of
haven't.
Mice and Men?
No.
Okay, well, you definitely know the reference because it's basically, it's in the Depression. It's these two guys going to work, like, farm to farm. And the book is... they come to the farm and Lenny's slow, and he like wants rabbits. That's what he wants. That's his whole thing through the whole thing. But I can't remember his George. I think it's George and Lenny. George is like fast talking, like friend who's like taking care of him because he's slow, but is a good worker. It's like he has killed them. Obviously, he's too rough with them. And then the story, spoiler for fucking Mice and Men. He murders the wife of the shithead boss. She comes to like have sex with him. He doesn't realize he's like too rough and kills her. Like it's not on purpose or anything. And they go to kill him. And then at the end, George tells him to like think about the rabbits, and he shoots him in the back of the head himself to prevent like a lynch mob and the pain he would feel. He like put him in a good mind spot and then just do the dirty work himself.
Wow.
It is like a classic. They make you read and everything.
I know they never made us read it.
And the Lenny that's a joke when you talk about a big guy like loving something to death. That's always the reference is like where that comes from is of Mice and Men. So anyway, Stephen Page, cannot recommend enough either. It was amazing. He did a bunch of songs from old Barenaked Ladies. Nice. Did not do 1 week, which I respected so much. Well, I have a boss at work that I told him, like, because he used to work at LPR's, the venue, and I told him, like, I could not contain myself. And they had the regular reaction, which is to make fun of me. You're too nice. But, I
think it's sweet. I love love.
Well, he was making fun of me. And anyway, every time he sees me, he just goes, "Hey, it's Ben."
And then you burst into tears.
Yeah, like, stop. But it's weird because that song is the reason that for a long time I didn't like that band publicly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like they were such a joke, and like they're actually not a one-hit wonder, which is the best part, is because older people know a lot of their songs because they were huge. Anyway, I'm gonna absolutely go see them again. There's no chance I would not see I will see Stephen Page if he ever comes to New York again.
That's
I gotta
me
see
at
Barenaked
the
Ladies.
Indigo Girls, because everyone's like only knows Closer to Fine.
Yeah.
But if you talk to older people, they know a lot of Indigo Girls songs.
Yes, and they hold up.
Yeah, very much.
Well, I've got a boss. I need your help with this.
Okay.
I have the boss. It's audio engineers, and he's making fun of them, and that's fine. It's what I need. I expect that and appreciate being razzed about it. But he, I'm getting
making
to him
fun of
that I was so in love with, and he just goes, "Yeah, it's band." He goes, "Chickadee China." That's your favorite band is Chickadee China. I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I do the whole rap when I was in like 6th grade, but I told him I'm gonna make him a mixtape. But I'm going to get it on 8-track, so he has to listen to it. Because that's so much work for me to, like, make him a vinyl or something.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, you got to help me find some people that have some old school. Like, even if they just have a player, I'll buy the thing online to make it.
How about we get a band together and play every song for them?
I said that. I said, or I'm going to make you a CD that's just me doing 1 week 8 times. I think that would be great. But, yeah, it was also nice because then all my like, coworkers are naming songs they like. They're like, yeah, I usually listen to that with my dad. Or a coworker of mine she's a little bit older. She started singing "It's All Been Done," which was, I'm like, let's go, dude.
Which one's that? How does it go? Sing it genuinely.
Yeah, I will. The chorus is "It's all been done, woo-hoo-hoo, it's all been done." No?
I need to give it a listen.
I love them, dude.
It wasn't really in my. It's like not what my parents would listen to, so
totally hear that.
I never really encountered it.
Well, the thing I like about them is they have a lot of jokes, but their songs aren't jokes. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, that one is all about, the bridges, if I put my fingers here, and if I say I love you, dear, and if I play these same 3 chords, will you just yawn and say, woo, it's all been done. And it's all about kind of, they're awesome. They're so sick, dude. I can't, the fandom I have it's so dorky.
And that's great, and that's okay.
Yeah. It was, anyway, I just thought I'd let you know when you saw Slim Dan, what you thought might happen, I just pushed through.
See, I wouldn't have cried at all.
Okay.
I just would psychoanalyze every word that I said for the rest of my life.
I could see that.
So therefore, let me just not talk to him at all.
It was, my heart is just recovering from it a week later. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel less raw.
The only time
now.
I've come close to crying for someone was when I met Paul F. Tompkins.
That's amazing, Mr. Peanut Butter. I know he's done way more than that, but
I mean, I just feel like I know. Like,
yeah.
he doesn't know that I know him. I guess he does, because I'm sure everyone goes up to him who listens to his podcast and feels like they know him. But he's just changed my life for the better. Like, he's got a not toxic positivity, the opposite, a good positivity. Yeah.
Well, that's really, I think what hit me so hard was like, I listened to that music. Have you seen the number? Have I told you the Spotify
You've told
thing?
me it, yeah.
Well, I looked because I was showing my boss that it was 7,900 minutes 2 years ago. Like, that's so much time.
That's a lot.
To spend with a voice and to feel whatever,
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to come up and cry at us, that's fine. I will tell you it is embarrassing.
I'm not RuPaul always says, I'm not afraid of some tears. And I use that line on my friends. If my friends are like crying and they're like, I'm sorry, I'm like, I'm not afraid of tears.
I like
Cry.
That. That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm a big, my girlfriend's like, I've never seen you weep like that. I was like, I cried at a play festival with you. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, but you were like,
sure, tear coming
weeping.
down the face.
I was like, it was. We took videos afterwards. It was good. Like, just out on the street to be like, remember what this was and describe it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
good.
it was super good. So next time we should go together.
I would love to go.
Back.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you have that.
Me too.
And I would never make fun of you for that.
And that's, I think, just to go back to last week, that's the difference in the type of podcast you and I consume.
Right.
It's that yours is like, oh my God, that's so adorable. And mine's like, that's bad and gay.
Right, right. No.
Well, anyway, I wanted to just let you know it was, I felt my emotions for a few days of just like, like when I breathed. So it was incredible.
And I've always wondered, so it's interesting to me that you've prepared, like, here's what I could talk about, because I used to do that to, like, if I ever met Regina Spektor, because I want to be like, these are your lyrics that impacted me. Like, this song helped, and this song made me think of this. But I'm like, does she even need that from me?
I think that's for us, because I think
exactly.
Looking back,
it's not even about.
I wanted to be like, hey, I'm 29. Your career spanned. Your career started 6 years before I was born.
Yeah.
And I don't just like 1 week. I am not here because of, you know what I mean? It is like the totality of your work. I like, there is a little bit of, I want you to think I'm cool.
Right.
Like, for sure there's that.
Yeah.
But there's also, I don't know, there's also like, fucking box set. I'll send you like 8 songs. How about that? Just to give you like, this is a smattering.
I'd love that.
But that song is like,
smatter me, baby.
I'll smash you up. But they like in there he talks about like, I never thought that I'd regret one stupid hit. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm. It was so bad when I told the boss about this, and he's like, "Chickadee, really?" And he goes to look, and the number one thing on their Spotify. Do you know what it is? The Big Bang Song Theory, which is just such a joke.
Oh. I wouldn't be able to tell you what it sounds like.
I've
never watched that show.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state. Yeah, I know.
Never once watched it.
I have to. I defend that show more than I should. I will say I got the most Midwest text from my mom.
I only watch
club.
Young Sheldon.
It was an evolution. They went single camera style. It was much more.
Me
Do you
too.
actually watch it?
No.
Okay. My mom sent me a text. I was at a
just
comedy
jerk
club.
off.
Mom sent me a text. I'm at a comedy club where she goes, it's the Big Bang Theory is pretty good. I was like, that's the most Midwest text I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And I actually, like I said, I will defend it a little bit. Have we talked about Dear Evan Hansen?
At length.
I thought so. My roommate brought it up yesterday. I think people hate stuff just to hate it sometimes.
I don't know. I never watched the movie, so I can't speak to that.
I'm just so nervous after we lost the one episode.
I
We're
know,
fine.
and my foot's dangling right around the record button, circling it.
Well,
like
it's
a
more
hungry little shark.
Portrayal is not endorsement. That's all. I don't think Evan leaves the end of that musical as the good guy.
No. And I love that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I like Dear Evan Hansen a lot. I'm not one of the haters. I'm not the biggest Ben Platt fan in the universe, although he's come out on top.
Back on our side.
He's back on top.
Yep.
Though I still don't like him. And it's just, I think the critiques that I have of it are kind of around mental health language, where he's got some sort of like amorphous, vague autism question mark.
Yeah.
And then Ben Platt's like stuttering, and you're like, girl, why are you stuttering?
Yeah, I totally.
So that's a critique of it, but I think things are made to be critiqued.
Yeah, 100%.
It drives me crazy when people were like, we need to take Hamilton off the stage because it just reinforces the idea that the only like important stories in American history are white, and these white people are being. And I was like, I think that's an incredible critique of the show, and I think it's true that that's a problem with it. And also, it can be on Broadway. Do you know? And I think that's a wonderful conversation that it's brought to light. Why do we have to shut it down because there's a problem?
Can that be our ethos on this whole show? Because I'm in the same boat of like we can do two things at once.
Yeah.
Like it can be good, or like it can be bad or good, independent of what you think of like that personal thing or the one.
Right.
There are sub arguments to everything.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, because I'm with you on that. Where it's I don't like it because blank. It's like okay, great, but that doesn't make it a bad thing.
Yeah, I rarely feel that way. That's like I went to see Hell's Kitchen, which a lot of people clown on because the story's not good, and they're like, "Oh, I hated that" or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, I really liked it because the music was fucking incredible."
Yeah.
And yeah, the story wasn't incredible, but like they were singing their fucking faces off. So I didn't really care about the story that much.
Ah, dude, there's this I'm scrolling Reddit and there's this indie artist called Tennis, I think.
Okay.
I should know because now I'm bringing it up on a platform, but like she basically ripped into Pitchfork. Do you know them? Their album reviews, just about how like the level of discourse around their. I'm gonna pull it up. You talk. It was so good, and I just want to actually read this quote to you. So
Summertime. Today I spent almost the entire day outside. I went on a long walk, went to an outside birthday party. I love it outside. I have really bad allergies, so I was working with that. I have to try really hard not to itch my eyes because once it starts, girl, it is not stopping. And those motherfuckers are getting puffy as hell. And I have to stop saying fuck so much on this podcast because we get censored on TikTok.
Oh, really?
So I have to go through and like cover each fuck up with a barking sound. Hashtag good boys. Arf, arf, arf.
I'm trying to curse less too. I don't think I'm gonna find this.
Okay, should this be, besides the time I just said motherfucker and that time that I just said it again, should this be our
What the fuck are you talking about?
our child appropriate? Play this for your kids, basically.
I'm not gonna stop it completely, but I do want to do less.
I say jerk off a lot because it's a really good punchline.
Yeah, jerk off. It
Jerk off
feels good.
It's
Sounds
funny.
good.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of self-serving.
Okay, so this is Tennis. Tennis Inc. So it's a band named Tennis.
What's their hit song?
I don't know. This is not a referendum on them, but this is my review of our Pitchfork review. For the last 7 albums, I've watched 7 male Pitchfork writers bend over backwards to offer the worst, most uncharitable interpretations of our music. The cherry-picked lyrics without context interpolate meanings that isn't there or are overly reductive, making me out to be as banal as a greeting card writer. I'll never forget when staff writer Evan Hansen, awesome to use his name.
Wig.
Yeah. Wig, what does that mean? What is wig?
That's just for us.
Okay.
Wait,
That
we have to
stays-
clip that.
Okay.
And never mind.
Okay, I don't get to know that.
Okay, we're going to practice. I'm going to say wig, and you go, I know, right? Wig.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, fine.
What? I don't know what it means I'm saying.
Right.
I'll do it.
That's
I'll do it.
valid. No, let's keep going.
Anyway, Evan Hansen wrote that I scoff at tourists, end quote, in his reviews for the song Swimmer, which is about my father-in-law's funeral. In the song's opening, I described tourists flocking to the sea as a way of highlighting the emotional dissonance I felt watching vacationers swim while my husband and I scattered his father's remains in the same sea.
Period.
That scene is seared into my brain as one of the most painful and profound moments of my life. When I pushed back on his extremely mean take, his response was, I know it's not a flattering reading of the line, but it's how the lyric has struck me on every listen, even knowing the backstory behind the song. Trust me, Evan, if I'm scoffing, you'll know. And continues on, review Face Down in the Garden by Shad D'Souza barely engages with the material at all. Instead, he uses the assignment as an excuse to write a boring meditation on vibe music, right? And just like goes through these people's, and then at the end says, I'd give music criticism a 6.8. But it's Tennis and Tennis Inc.
Tennis Inc. Shout out.
I don't know who that's their
Instagram
handle.
We're going to listen to
We
your
are
music.
Absolutely going to look up Tennis. But that's the whole, people want to criticize and they don't want to put stuff out.
Right. Well, I love that. You critique the critic. I think that's cunty.
And I'm also...
which isn't good or bad.
This is true. It's not good or bad, but it is cunty.
But
I guess I'm more... Because I'm not above criticizing stuff. I get so tired of the... I think it's comedy's really big on that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like comedians really want to talk shit on stuff, and like
Mhm.
then when you push back on them and all, like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Can I ask a musical theater question?
Yeah.
Gilbert and Sullivan, yay or nay?
What'd they write?
So I did some research on this because I worked at this. It's called. I'm not gonna say it actually, 'cause I'm gonna get in trouble. But it's. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. But they're
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
The Blue Hill Troops. Blue Hills Troop. They're like they do.
I was trying to do a bit where.
I know. 101st. This is their 101st year, and every year they put on a musical. It's community theater,
Okay.
and it's to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
And they did
Person who played a baby in the first one played an old man in the last one.
the Duke or the Statutory Trial is what it was called. So I googled it because they're like as big as Rodgers and Hammerstein,
Okay.
but they made operettas where Rodgers and Hammerstein basically invented the musical.
Right.
And so the stuff, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were like kind of the bridge that
Sure,
direction,
sure,
I guess. And the research I did said that like nobody does Gilbert and Sullivan anymore because no opera singers do operetta because they want to sing opera
Right.
and they're not good actors.
Mm.
They just need the music to do it, and this isn't challenging music, and they'd have to act a bunch
Right.
of stuff. Anyway, I guess
So what are some Gilbert and Sullivan?
I don't know.
What's some
That's why I
IP?
was bringing it up to you because I was like, I don't have a repertoire of
Yeah,
them.
I
I'm
don't-
gonna
I don't
Google
feel
it.
that I know them very well.
I'm planning on. Well, this is. I thought that would do a lot more. I really thought you could give me something after your NYU musical theater.
You would think so, but it wasn't an operetta. It wasn't an operetta program. Gilbert's good. Can we bring back the name Gilbert?
Yeah, Gilbert's solid. I gotta look up list of shows. Right?
Do you know what a filbert is?
Mm-mm.
It's a nut.
Is it?
Yeah. I learned that from doing the musical Very Good Eddie.
Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, work.
The Mikado. HMS Pinafore. Oh no. HMS Pinafore. Isn't that from Pirates of Penzance?
I don't know.
The Yeoman of the Guard, The Sorcerer, Princess Ida, The Gondoliers, Utopia Limited,
I know The
Patience, The Grand
Gondoliers.
Duke. That's one I just saw. I don't know. This is incredibly boring, though, since you don't have something to add. I really thought
Yeah,
this
I
was
don't have a
open up
take.
something for you.
Pirates is having a. It's on Broadway right now.
It's got to be some kind of interpolation, right? Because they're calling it Penzance, the Pirates musical or something like that. So they're definitely calling it something else.
I see.
Anyway, saw that. Or I didn't see it. It was great.
Jinx
got-
Monsoon is in it. Drag queen.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, non-binary drag queen who's playing a woman. It's all very interesting. I'm talking theater. The Tony Noms came out, and Cola Scola, who's a non-binary person who's playing Mary Todd Lincoln in the play Oh Mary, got nominated for Best Lead Actor.
Huh.
Isn't it kind of an interesting?
It's a weird breaking down of the barrier. You'd think you'd do it based on the character, right? That's how I would do it. Who portrayed the best woman.
But I guess they did it doing biological sex.
So good
Which
to
is
know
interesting.
The Tonys are
Well,
incredibly
yeah.
aggressive.
And then I brought this up to a friend, and they had a great take, which was, at least it's possible that no man wins a Tony this year.
That's really funny.
Yeah. It's all the women and theys this year only.
Yeah, no keys. They asked that today in this class. Are you comfortable playing anything across the gender spectrum in an improv class? I was like, yeah, I can. I'll be okay.
Well, I brought it up to, was it to Poke the Bear, where I was like, everyone keeps only casting me as a woman in scenes. This is not okay.
That's not how you brought it up. You also said, you said to me, why do I always play women? And why is that
Well,
what I'm drawn to?
And that's interesting too, because I do that in improv, and it's always shocking to me where, like, one time I'm like, oh, I know the exact thing to do in this musical improv. I'm going to play the evil queen. And I walk in, I'm like, my royal subjects, whatever. And someone goes, King Charles. And I was like, King? How do men act? Crazy.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Something's in the water. Oh, do you see that Gracie Lawrence is going to be in that Bobby Darin?
Yeah.
They canceled the tour. They just put out an acoustic. They call it acoustic-ish. Have you watched those?
No.
It's unreal. They do one-shots. It's kind of one of the things I think really helped them blow up because they keep going back to it. They do one-shots in a rehearsal room or in a big like acoustic recording, and they'll have like an electric bass and some guitar, but it's all one take and it's mostly acoustic, and it's sick. And they just did one of the songs. It's usually the band, but it was her and Jonathan Groff. Do we like him?
Sure.
I should have nothing to know because he was Jesse St. James in Glee. I'm pretty gay. I've accepted it.
I didn't know his name in Glee.
Jesse
so
St. James.
You got me
dude.
beat there.
Yep, yeah. I fucking loved that show. Once Rachel moved to New York, though, I was kind of out. Finn's in the army. I was like, what are we doing?
I never finished it.
Yeah, no.
I watched the first 4 seasons. But I've watched the first 4 seasons twice.
Yeah, I don't know when I stopped, but it was when she went to New York.
When she went to New York,
came
I
in and out of
stopped.
that season. I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah. What are your major moments or things that really stick with you?
From Glee specifically?
Yeah.
I liked that Finn chose to sing. I liked that we had High School Musical, the TV show. That was cool.
Right.
Sue Sylvester's the man.
Did he choose to sing or was he forced
Was he
into it
framed into it?
inappropriate?
But later he chose.
Okay, here's what I think as well. The first season of that show is high camp.
Yes.
And it's done so tongue in cheek and so well. But one of the facets of camp, I'm a camp nerd famously, is that the more character development and in-depth you get to a character, the less camp it becomes. So as we get into season 2 and season 3 and season 4 and we're getting all of these different sides of the characters, it's now just like a dramedy instead of like a camp show.
Camp should be a movie. Shouldn't be a TV show.
Yes, it's very true.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you can't want me to. I can't hate Rachel and also sometimes feel bad for her.
Because and the whole idea behind camp is like you see the character and you know exactly who that is. That's who they are at the beginning and it's who they are at the end.
Yeah.
And there's no development.
Yeah. So moments that stick out for me. Definitely when Artie is dreaming and does Dancing by Myself when he gets out of the wheelchair. How'd you expect this to be where this went? I think that Puck singing Beth is incredible, even though he definitely wanted to fuck that baby.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
No.
He sings a Kiss song called Beth. They name her Beth.
I see.
And I was making he's, a pedophile who killed himself, which is good.
God, it is really crazy what happened with all those people.
How many of them? Okay, what other ones that stuck out to me? I think Bert, Kurt's dad. Pretty much every scene
His
he
name's
was
Bert.
in. Yeah, isn't that awesome?
He's Kurt's dad.
Isn't that awesome? The show was so good.
It's so good.
It's
That's
so
really good.
Yeah.
When Finn says fag, that's
Dude.
iconic.
It genuinely is.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's complex and it's tea and it's like, ooh.
It's a fun
so
show.
good.
When they do the
maybe one of my favorite jokes ever is when he goes, "Who's Josh Groban? Who is Josh Groban? Kill yourself."
He was the bomb. Chris Colfer, the guy who played Kurt.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like people
Yeah,
knowing that I know that.
You know all this.
That was, I will say this, that was right when Twitter came out for me. Like I used to be like, I'm gonna get on every social media right away. When I was a kid, like
Right.
I was early. I think a bunch of them followed me because it was the first 100 people to follow them. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like not a bunch, and that didn't last.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. So I think I knew all their names.
You're
from
basically
that.
their friends.
I mean, like we've got dinner. I wouldn't say friends.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah,
you know. Anyway, it's yeah, Glee was solid. Do you like Supernatural? I'm just gonna go full gay on this one.
I've seen everything but the last 3 seasons of Supernatural.
So
I hate it, but I like it.
yeah. It
Well, yes.
first 5 seasons with Kripke are awesome. The creator left. It wanted to be a 5-season show. He created The Boys. Do you know that?
No, I haven't watched it.
Do you know what it is at all?
Superheroes.
Hyper. It's
All right. Isn't there? It's like gross. Isn't it like?
yes. It's someone who hates superheroes. Obviously wrote the comic book. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like this is what would happen if you actually give someone the power of a god and everyone worshipped him. And
Right.
It's pretty bad. But Dean comes back. Jensen Ackles.
Mm-hmm.
He's in season 3 as a character named Soldier Boy, who was
Ooh.
in World War II and is just like a womanizing piece of shit.
Does he
super
take his shirt
soldier.
off?
And he's super ripped, like way more.
Yes,
than,
he's very
no.
attractive.
way more. Like they said that. I heard an interview with him where he goes, like he got the fitting for his like super suit, and they go, he goes, oh, are you gonna like sew muscles in there or whatever? And the costume designer goes, you're gonna bring me some muscles, and then he just went psycho mode. For 6 months or whatever to get ready, and then he showed up, and everyone's like, "Why didn't you have him just sew muscles into the suit?"
Yeah.
But
I might give it a watch.
it's I
I had
haven't
a
watched
crush
the
on
newer
all of
stuff.
them in Supernatural. That's I would say, Max, that's the only reason people watch.
yeah, no. But I don't love any of the shipping of the boys. Can't handle that.
Well, of course we're shipping DSTL.
DSTL for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the Sam and Dean stuff, I need you to drop that.
Yeah,
Leave
that
at the
is not
door.
appropriate.
That just needs to not be done. If you don't know Supernatural, it's kind of late for me to bring this up, but it's a soap opera for
horny teenage
horny
girls and Max.
and yeah, I was gonna say pretty much the queer community plus me.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking good. I don't like the ending, but that's when are you ever going to really? Unless it's Scrubs.
I didn't ever watch the ending.
Yeah, we have so much stuff we could just sit and watch.
Scrubs rewatch podcast.
No, we're a Supernatural rewatch podcast.
That would be crazy, and that would go crazy.
That would be pretty solid. I'm trying to think if I had any other like pretty gay like tastes or opinions.
Well, let's keep going on Supernatural.
Okay.
Because I watched the whole thing, don't remember 99% of it.
Okay.
I feel that way about a lot of things. And I'm like, is there something the matter? Because I watched How I Met Your Mother 4 times through. I don't remember any of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple episodes of that.
Hmm?
I've only seen a couple episodes of that. That's interesting.
That's all you need to know.
I get referenced to it a lot though.
Mm.
I'm a Marshall. Do you know why? So I'm the shortest guy in my family, and he's tall and I'm tall.
Oh.
It's always someone be like, "Oh, you're like Marshall." It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
See, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that show.
We've seen it 4 times. Not
I've
remember
seen
it's
it 4
crazy.
times. I've seen Gilmore Girls 3 times. Could barely tell you anything about it.
Now, how much were you second screening that stuff?
Mm,
Like on your phone while you watch? Because I
think
get
a
that.
lot of this was me like coping with things in like high school and
Yeah.
middle school.
You also say you smoked a bunch in high school, right?
Yeah,
Not saying like like that. But
not
that does
like
make
every
you,
day.
No, but if you got high and then watched it, like
Oh,
that's
true,
not
true,
going to
true.
latch
That's
in
true.
there. You know what I mean? That's more what I meant. And my guess would be if you were coping with stuff, you were probably getting high and then watching Netflix. You know?
Right.
What were
It
you-
was me escaping my life.
yeah. What were you coping with? We wanted to get more personal on this podcast, right? That was
Yeah, I wanted to tell more of my personal
revealing
stories.
stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. You might get a questionably hetero large man to cry from just your lyrics. Imagine all this stuff you're telling. We should just do more sighs. I think that would be good. How I Met Your Mother, Supernatural. What were you gonna say about just how you don't remember it at all? Oh,
Yeah.
iconic Glee moments.
Right.
Gotta be Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'd never
Great
seen
episode.
Rocky Horror before
Mm.
that, but my mom, she went to Denton, Texas to see it back in the 70s.
And you know what's God, I can't fucking talk today.
Yeah, today.
I'm going to do a retake. And you know what's crazy about that is my dad told me that he used to go to see Rocky Horror Picture Show because it was like the only thing that was happening at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you're a Republican for all these years? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they want to put every one of them in the gulags.
Yeah.
Like that's
They want to erase that tape forever. I just think that's crazy. Rocky Horror, great fucking episode of Glee. When Mercedes sings Sweet Transvestite.
yeah,
It's incredible.
She eats in that. Oh, yeah, that I don't know. That show's really fun. It honestly what got me. My mom loves Journey. That's her favorite band.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
she
there you go.
right. It's in the pilot in Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin's in it. Do you know that?
No.
So their first hit was called Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin', which is
Okay.
hilarious to
Yeah.
me. Their first like big hit was Steve Perry, and that's the song playing in the background when the guy who's doing the weeds. So it's the Journey version. They don't sing it, but I'm like they even were like we're gonna throw more Journey into this.
Yeah.
So it pulled my mom in. I was like, yeah, I'll watch
That's
this.
so fun.
Yeah.
I stand by that one of the best season finales of all time is when Quinn's giving birth and Rachel Berry's singing Don't Rain on My Parade and it's cutting
And it-
between the
yeah.
two. Yes.
Yeah, it's
we
so
have to
good.
watch.
I'm
Now
down.
I need to watch it. Although I have some friends who talk about Glee incessantly and I struggle.
Yeah, I mean, this is it for me. I'm not. Gonna
This
talk
is
about
all.
Glee with
Yeah.
anyone. I'm happy to maybe watch it again, but I don't need to.
Yeah.
You know what we did last night? So it was nice. My roommates and I were all kind of. I can't tell my roommate's story, but he's an idiot. He's a comic, so I'm not going to burn his
Shout
material.
out to a king.
But his eyes hurt for what he had done, and he'd just been itching them all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Fucking stop doing that!" And I went and I had like frozen cauliflower rice and just put it on his eyes. And so we just sat in the living room and talked for like 2 hours when he basically couldn't look at anything. And we started watching a bunch of these biopic clips. That I know you don't do biopics. You got to watch the comedy ones.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story is so funny. So we started with that, and then we went to. You didn't watch that, right?
Did you watch Walk Soft, the flaccid cock story?
It's criminally underrated. Walk Hard, and it's like people genuinely thought like, oh, this is why there hasn't been a biopic in 10 years because it skewered it so. Like it's beat for beat, just an absolute parody of all of the Ray, the Walk Hard, or Walk the Line, all that shit.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's Get Him to the Greek is another one. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Hilarious movie. Jonah Hill, Aziz Ansari's in it a little bit. T.J. Miller, the main other character, Russell Brand, and then the funniest person in it is Diddy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. It is, and everyone crushes. Great movie. Can't recommend it enough. Like, watch Get Him to the Greek. Don't support those guys did, but it's like every scene you're like,
Yikes.
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss, you know,
Icon.
fucking
Scientologist
queen, yeah.
I watched Scary Movie 4.
Okay.
Or maybe it was 5. The one with the aliens. There's this whole storyline that Kevin Hart is just gay and is in love with his best friend, and they like had a magical night together. And I guess the joke just is that they're gay. But they just like keep cutting away to like them having romantic moments, and I'm just like, this isn't funny. You're just being gay. Which I guess to like, I don't know, a normie audience, they'd be like, that's crazy. But to me, I was almost like, this is sweet.
I want to see. There's this. You don't do American Dad, right?
No.
American Dad it's a CIA father who works CIA. He's got a hippie daughter, and
there's an alien.
And the alien. Yeah, there's an earlier episode where the youngest, the son, and the alien are like upstairs and the lights go out and they've got all these candles lit, lights go out and it turns romantic, and that's the whole B plot is they just like, oh yeah, just start massaging each other, and then like people turn on the lights, they're like, what are we doing? So it's not played for gay, it's played for like this weird intimacy.
Right.
So I could see where a joke like that would go, but get him to the Greek.
Not quite.
Can I pitch it to you to see if you want to watch it?
Sure.
It is Russell Brand plays a rock star. Plays a rock star from the 90s.
Okay. He's good at that kind of role.
Oh yeah, and like
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of my favorite movies.
It's his same character. It's a whole movie based around that character, Aldous Snow. And so basically, what happened was at the height of his powers, it's kind of a Bono send-up where he did a song called "African Child." There's an African child stuck in me. It's insane, and it's so insane.
Fucking funny.
And so we're in the present
As
day.
someone who's seen you two in concert 3 times.
We got to watch it actually then. Absolutely have to, because it becomes Jonah Hill. He works for Diddy and a record label, and they're like trying to pitch all these songs and stuff. And he's like, I think we should do a 25-year anniversary or the 20-year anniversary of Infant Sorrow is the name of their band, which is a great band name, at the Greek Theater in LA, or in either LA or Las Vegas. But so he has to fly to his place in England, and basically it's a road trip to get him over there.
Okay. And
he's just a drug addict, huge piece of shit, all this stuff. But it is so good, and I actually listen to the album pretty regularly.
Okay.
Because they've got they do basically a send-up of every type of rock and roll in good, interesting ways. Like they do I Am Jesus, which is great, right? It's the first line is, I am Jesus, welcome to the church of me, true believers, take a walk across the sea. So there's that. There's the clap, which is like a Clash parody. It's, I got the clap, can't be beat, got it off the back of a toilet seat. But yeah, it's incredibly funny.
You know, I love comedy music.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't believe you haven't seen Walk Hard.
Yeah. Well, I don't usually consume things that are starring men, and that's just the sad truth of it.
Do you see Pop Star? That feels maybe you're young, like it's younger, newer. Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping with Andy Samberg.
No.
Oh, it's a Justin Bieber version from like 2016 where he played like a Justin Bieber rapper type.
Fun.
The big song from that everyone knows is, the song is him hooking up with Vanessa Bayer as the actress, and it's like,
I love Vanessa Bayer.
Oh yeah, well,
I love women.
The song it's her saying, "Fuck me like we fucked Bin Laden."
Oh my god,
that's the hook.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I love a good comedy musical though.
I mean, yeah, I was definitely in the whole like Lonely Island moment.
Yeah, there was Lonely Island that did Pop Star, and then it was like
it was like
around Brooklyn Nine-Nine's time. Like it was after they were moved on.
Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah.
Do you think it's good or bad?
I think it like varies.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be in the mood for it Do you know what I mean? Like that style is
It
pretty
is.
specific.
That's
in
true.
my mind. I got annoyed when they did all the police reform stuff. I was like, shut the fuck up. You decided to make a cop show
Yeah.
way later. Like you didn't do this in the 90s.
I
which,
know it's late. It's definitely late for
So
that.
just own it. Just like own it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Not like I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna do reform. It's like I don't know, man, because this is a sitcom. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have a nice ending, and like this
Right.
stuff doesn't end nice.
Right. That's very true.
But my girlfriend really likes it. My cousin really likes it. A lot of friends of mine really like it.
Yeah.
Do you know that the guy who played Boyle was in a sketch show on MTV called The State with Michael Ian Black?
No.
UCB adjacent kind of improv
Nice.
stuff. The became
That's fun.
sketch. Are you a fan? Sorry.
I feel actually pretty much the exact same way. Where sometimes I'm in the mood for that sort of thing. I binged a lot of it during the pandemic.
Yeah, very bingeable. Are you ready for another pandemic to hit, or what are we thinking?
Is that coming?
I don't know. It just
I
feels
could
like
use a good pandemic.
the way things are going, it feels like maybe another one's coming,
Oh,
you know?
God.
Doesn't it?
I'm actually not, because I'm doing really well right now. Which is exactly what I thought when the last one came.
Same. I quit my job like 4 months earlier, was going to go on the road. Like,
Work. I was like the star of NYU. I was in the main stage show.
you know that?
Yeah. At that point, it had taken me like my first 2.5 years. I was not, and then I kind of like figured out how to play the game a little bit more. And then it was like I was in the main stage show at Tisch. Like I was going into a summer where I was getting equity points,
Cool.
and then as most people, the course of my life changed forever.
Well, if we have another one, you and I are just going to shoot movies the whole time.
That would be so fun.
Come to Ohio. 'Cause
Well,
we'll be on
I
like
actually spent
country.
the pandemic making TikToks
Yeah.
and making my EP that went viral on TikTok. I can't be stopped, much like you.
Yeah.
You can't be stopped, I can't be stopped.
I certainly was stopped during the pandemic. I don't know. Have we talked about the band situation I had during the pandemic?
Only slightly.
So stand-up is like a no-go. I did like one Zoom show or one Zoom open mic. I was like, I would rather die. Like, I don't want to do this again.
Yep.
And, I wrote a whole book, wrote a novel, I wrote like 40,000 words of another one.
That's awesome.
But
I wrote like 3 chapters of a book.
love that.
I stand by the idea.
Do you know mine's actually very Supernatural inspired?
Really?
It's basically Supernatural if they're high schoolers.
Huh.
Like, that's like a rough kind of, but
Exploring each other's bodies in the locker room.
yeah, looking for the whole.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like I was very much stopped because I moved back to Ohio and it was good to be around family. I did a lot of like family stuff. Like I cooked dinner every Tuesday for like everyone came. Once it wasn't like, hey, stay in your house. Like it was still pretty bad. But I started a band because I was like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And we were really good. It really upsets me because I was ready to not come back to New York. I was ready to get a van and like go because we did a few shows and we did 5 or 6 shows around Athens. We did some up in Columbus. We had a couple songs that were like okay on Spotify. And I was like, let's get together twice a week. Let's write. I told you, just like let's write a song every practice and just
we
like
did talk about
and
this.
just keep going at this. And like I'm willing to not go back to New York to like make
King
this
of
happen.
commitment.
And all of my friends were just like,
I know.
yeah, man, I just want to drink a couple beers and do this. And anyway, that's why I'm doing playwriting.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh, I have so many sketches I have to show you after this. Can I tell you? I'll tell you one that I'm really proud of. And
Okay.
it's a guy who's a wife guy. I wrote this where a wife guy, just the dudes who are like so about their wife in
I
an
know
annoying way. Well, so it's this guy who won't talk to his new female coworker. I'm married. Don't you understand? We can't be friends. Like that's the vibe. And when she keeps trying to talk to him, he like calls her like, babe, tell her until she leaves. And then someone brings in their dog to work, and the dog's name is Casey. He goes, is that a boy name or a girl name? Like he like checks the dog to see if he can be friends with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like that.
I was a very
see
big
that.
fan of that. That's what we gotta do is be pitching sketches in an audio format, not doing them.
Well, I was gonna pitch you my concept for the novel.
Oh, hit me.
That I never wrote and never will write. Honestly, it's kind of like Black Mirror-esque, where it's like, okay, the idea is that there's these scientists who create this, I don't know, solution of some kind so that nature actually benefits from plastic instead of is hurt by it and gets to consume it.
Yeah.
but it turns south in the sense that everything's getting overgrown. Animals are becoming like giant, and
Oh, cool.
wouldn't that be a cool idea?
Yeah, like sci-fi, like survival kind of against nature thing.
exactly. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a 4th draft of my
It's
book.
almost like Jurassic Park-esque.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That is fun. And I'll bet you're very inspired by the pandemic times,
Well,
right?
yes.
Of the, seeing things coming back. That's pretty cool.
I thought it was a good idea.
I don't know if we talked about this, but have you ever worked with a director that should have been a novelist?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe. I don't know what you mean.
A director who wants to who doesn't want to direct you, who wants to do it and then have you imitate them.
Oh, we talked about this
Yeah,
briefly.
it's like, write a book, dude. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can't bring anything to this. Like you just want me to be you. Like
Yeah.
write a book.
Right. That's actually true. Maybe that's what I should get into.
Just the level of control that affords to you is so different from stand up. Or my roommate, who's Ryan Haroff, he's a comic who's really funny, and he
Shout out to a king.
and he's written a book, and he's like, yeah, I don't do sketch because I want to succeed or fail on my merits. That's why I do improv. Like I like going up on stage by myself with my jokes.
Sure.
And
very Caleb Hearon mentality. He just
Yeah.
talks about it on his podcast.
does he? Yeah. And you said Caleb Hearon. That's so close to Ryan Haroff. I was like, are you
Oh.
that wrong right now? And then I remembered who Caleb Hearon was. It's us when we're at it together.
Yeah. Us.
Fat and gay.
And that he would say that. So we're in the clear.
yeah. And also, we're both not saying it like it's a bad thing.
No, it's great.
How about you? What's new with you after 45 minutes?
I'm outside. I'm having #NormalGirlMay. I'm doing normal things. I'm getting drinks with people. I'm hanging out. Today we played cards.
Yeah.
I played cards. How normal
That's
is
fun.
that? And that's been great. Like I closed my show. You came to see my show.
I did. Very gay.
Oh my God, couldn't be more gay.
So gay. As I was sitting there, I was like, this is pretty gay. This is great. This is pretty gay.
It's so gay and it's so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been kind of reveling in like how well that went, how well received it was, and planning for my big steps in the future.
Yeah, you're taking that on the road eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
At some point. It probably won't be in June the way we thought it would be or dreamed it would be. But you know, I just think the show has legs, and it's so like it fits in 2 suitcases, and
Right, that does help.
yeah, which we was intentional.
You know me, dude. I'm gonna write stuff that's 2 people. I'm gonna write stuff that is.
Yeah.
I shot a pilot in 4 days. Like,
Right. So that's what's been up with me. I'm trying to find a job that is a couple shifts a week. That's all that's up.
Are you done with coffee?
No, I'm still working there. It's just not a consistent schedule.
Yeah,
I would be down to work at a cafe. I just can't work nights, which is why I can't work there.
Oh, they want you there nights mostly.
Yeah. Not mostly. It's just like it's expected to do 1 or 2 if you're working there part time.
I see.
And I'm just
You're
won't
not
do
gonna
it.
do it, yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
Except I'm working, I think, 7 or 8 days in a row this upcoming week between my 2 jobs. But then after that, it's like, then hardly anything, and I don't know.
So this week
It's a
I have 2
mess.
shifts. I'm happy
But
about.
that's crazy.
That's nothing for me.
You're usually pumping them out.
The following week, I have a 40-hour period where I work 40 hours
Yeah.
between 3 different places.
Yeah.
I'm like, I called him. I was like, can I be a little late to this? Can I be a little late to this so I can bounce around and work 40 hours straight?
That's max.
And I am working 6 days that week. That's
Whoa.
only 2 days.
That kind of just brought a whole new meaning to your name, which is Max. 'Cause it's like maximum.
Oh, that's what you... Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
This big epiphany. Yeah, I'm not even going to bleep this out. This feels sick. And it's like...
And I'm not going to bleep this out.
That week I'm making $4
Pussy
grand.
fuck bitch. That's so stupid. I'm so
It's okay.
sorry.
It's all right. We'll sit in that. That's our reset now.
Yeah.
No, I'm making $4 grand that week. That week.
Hey, I was actually going to ask you, can I borrow some money?
Well, it's like I've got that, and the week after I got some shifts in June. I have 3 shifts scheduled. In
Yeah.
July, I got nothing.
Well, my July and August is pretty much covered.
Yeah.
With my upcoming gig, but then it's like it's hard to be like, oh, I need a job just for May and June.
Right. That's where this production stuff's nice, 'cause hopefully you can get a couple calls somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. It's annoying.
You should reach out to
Redacted. I
and-
should.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
needs people coming up, he said. I was there
Okay.
2 nights ago. I'm
Uh,
there twice this week.
My experience there was so poor. Half on me, half on them.
Yeah, I understand.
And you got to cut that name out in case I do want to work with them.
He is not listening to this. I can promise you that.
I know, but
understand.
yeah. Well, I mean, the story of that day is the night before I got so wasted, which isn't usually my
right,
thing.
Right.
So it was kind of random. And then I didn't realize the call was at 8 a.m. And I didn't realize it was like an hour and 10 minutes away. So I had to wake up at like 6:30 to take a shower and try to eat something before going. Huge mistake to try to eat something.
Yeah.
Because I take the train for an hour and then get off the train and immediately throw up in a trash can. I'm like pale and clammy. And then we get there and there's nothing for us to do.
Yeah, it's the best.
For me, that's not the best because I needed something to take my mind off the fact that I was so physically ill. You know, like if someone was like, go do this task, I would have been able to like shut down, go do it. But then I'm just sitting there, stewing and feeling absolutely awful until I was like, they're not going to notice if I leave right now. So I just left and went and got a ginger ale. And let me tell you something about a ginger ale. That is the cure-all for me. I like took 3 sips of that ginger ale. I was skipping and hopping down the street, clicking my heels together. And then the rest of the day was fine. But the first 5 hours of that, I felt like I was going to die because I also threw up my coffee that I had on the way there. So I didn't have any caffeine in the system.
Oh, that's brutal.
So it was like headache, clammy, vomiting.
I left and got my headphones from home and came back. So I was like, oh, that's how boring today's going to be? It was
Yeah.
great. I don't go to work without a laptop anymore, which is a blessed thing at my job. Like, there are downsides to my job, and I have to know a lot and handle a lot of stuff, but, buddy, you're going to let me type?
I mean, I was saying that to the people I was working with a couple days ago. I was like, guys, because they all were like feeling like, oh, we want to leave or whatever. I'm like, guys, we get paid a pretty good amount to do very little. It's hard labor in the beginning of the day. We're lifting things.
Yeah.
It is physical. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. But then there will be like 3 or 4 hour periods where we're sitting on our literal butts scrolling through TikTok getting paid hourly.
Yeah, waiting. And that's the thing, too. You have to be there. They can't let you go.
They can't let you go.
You have to do stuff at, like, set times.
Yeah. Or there might be things that come up that you have to do that you don't know you have to. And I'm always like, if you don't want to stay here the whole time, don't sign up for the shift. It's nice when we get to go home early, but
Don't
it should
expect
not
it.
be your expectation.
Yeah, agreed.
I went to CrossFit. This reminded me of
Oh,
my
yeah,
strict
yeah.
teacher. First of all, my hammies destroyed. Deadlifts, I don't like them at all.
They're the best.
Really?
So the joke is,
It hurt.
you know,
like,
the
it hurts my hamstrings
yeah,
so
it's
bad.
supposed to. The big 3 lifts are bench press, squat,
I just
and
want to be
deadlift.
in shape and not have to do anything.
You're preaching to the choir. That's all. That's my dream.
You know what's really depressing?
What?
I have a distinct memory of when I was in 4th grade in Catholic school, #Catholic school. If you tag us, tag #Catholic school.
We're just really trying to get clumped with that kind of stuff in the algorithm. I think they'll do well for us.
One of my religion teachers we went around and they were like, everyone say like what you think heaven is like.
Mhm.
And I was like, I think heaven is eating as much as you want and not gaining any weight.
Yeah.
4th grade.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
How fucked up is that for me to say?
I don't know, man. Yes, and
Yes. Why am I thinking about my weight in 4th grade?
I would say because you've seen the hogs that walk around like me. Like you see that as a kid, you're like, God damn it, I don't want to be unhealthy like that. Like I want to be able to walk, not in a scooter. Maybe that's not all of it. I can understand.
Mine was
there's other
purely aesthetic.
stuff. Oh, okay. I just, they have engineered junk food.
Yes.
It's somebody's
I
job
know,
to
I
make it
know.
addictive.
Yeah, I know. Have
And
I
it's
told
like,
you my
can we
experience?
Luigi them? Can we find them and kill them, please?
Can we find them and jump on a mushroom near them? Can we find them and hit a box with our head and see what the fuck comes out?
Have you told me your experience with what?
Chick-fil-A. Because, well, famously in 8th grade, I stopped eating all fast food and was a huge pain about it.
Yeah.
And
That's so Owen.
oh my god! And I was like,
Like,
an
probably made an
outspoken
announcement.
atheist, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yes, and it is awesome and good
It's
for
not.
me.
It's hilarious.
It was the talk of the fucking town when I stopped taking communion at church.
Yeah.
And I walked up and crossed my arms like this.
Yeah.
And he went, or whatever. Anyway. And I was scared to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to hell, so
Well,
it's brave.
anyway, I stopped eating all fast food. Freshman year at NYU, they had a Chick-fil-A at the dining hall.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to try it. And I tried it, and I was like, this isn't even that good.
Yeah.
Next day I woke up, and my stomach was like, you need to have Chick-fil-A again today.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so crazy. 'Cause as I was eating it, I'm like, nah, it doesn't live up to the hype that I remember. And the next day, my brain was fully like, you have to do everything in your power to go get that chicken sandwich.
My first time with the fast food thing was B-Dubs.
I don't know what that is.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, I
Sorry.
do know what that is.
Yeah. B-Dubs is just the faster.
I went there once.
Okay.
And I've been to Red Lobster once.
Oh,
Which-
I love a Red Lobster.
Okay.
My aunt and my cousin both served there for a while.
Mm.
You know, and
They served there.
they were absolutely serving the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
She got a Purple Heart.
Well,
She got diabetes.
I forgot these stories. So one is they do endless shrimp every year,
Okay.
right? And so you go to bottomless shrimp, and my aunt or my cousin both be like, you can't have any biscuits. Like, you'll fill up. Like, you only get shrimp while you're here. Like,
That's
crush
good protein.
it is, and you don't fill up on the bread. And then we leave like 4 bags of food. Not even kidding. They just put in order after order after order. And we'd leave it like at least 10 pounds of like shrimp scampi and shrimp and fucking Cheddar Bay biscuits. It was amazing.
I love that.
Fat guy tip, the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, get ranch with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat guy tip.
Real good. You know they went bankrupt, right? Because they sold they were bought by a VC firm, venture capitalist, that then sold the land to themselves and then started charging rent so they could make more money off Red Lobster until it went bankrupt and they didn't care because they'd written it off.
All of that stuff goes above my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I tell you my so my cousin when she was at Red Lobster,
When she was serving down boots at Red Lobster.
well, she had an old man come in to
She
eat.
was serving fish.
She was
She was
being
serving
fishy.
fish at Red Lobster.
RuPaul, just have us on. Let
Have
us
us on. Let
judge
us be
one
the guest
season.
judge. I've
Just one
always said
episode.
I'll know I've made it when I'm a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag
That's
Race.
funny.
That's one of my absolute dreams. And I practice every time I watch it 'cause they make puns about their outfits as they walk down the runway.
Mhm.
So I'll be watching it being like, what puns can I make? What puns can I make? Yeah.
That's great. I believe in you. That'll happen one day.
Okay, your cousin serving at Red Lobster.
Yes, and an old man comes.
Shout out
sits
to our
in-
vets. There's not enough support.
She comes, or an old man comes.
She
sits in her
comes in Red Lobster.
Old man comes in, sits in her section
Mm-hmm.
by himself, and it's slow. It's during the day, so she like sits down across from him and talks to him. You know what I mean? Just is like being friendly, and he's just nice back, and she like cuts up his food for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like really doing
Yeah.
a full service with this old man.
She's
and
like, So tell me more about your will.
well, she comes back and he'd like fallen asleep, and she was like, oh, I don't want to like embarrass him all. She tried to like make noises around him.
No,
You know what I mean?
Max, no. He's dead.
And he died. And he like fell into the food, and
Into
so
the food.
she like tries to get him up because she thinks he fell asleep now and is embarrassed, and like he's fully dead. She tries to like give him mouth to mouth Heimlich and all that, and like he's just let out in a stretcher, like fully gone. And you know, immediately everyone in the family knows, of course. Do you know what I mean? Like she comes home fucked up about that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, and she does her bit of like, you know, calling and telling her, like catching up with you and letting you know. And I am the last to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says that, and I go, damn, stiffy on the tip. And I was ready with that, you know. And she literally yells, "Why does everyone in this fucking family make a joke about that?"
Red Lobster, when you're here, you
could die.
You're dead.
Oh, that was the best. When she was like, I was like, oh, everybody made a joke,
Stiffed
huh?
you on the tip.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Thank you. Professional comedian. Yeah. Do you ever serve restaurants? I know you do like customer service and Nook now, but
I served the only time I've
3 tours at Chili's.
It keeps me up at night. I do the 1,000-yard stare. I was in the trenches at this restaurant in P-Town.
Oh, nice.
It was truly the worst job I've ever had. And in fact, I trained, and my training day was a mess. But it was back, not that I didn't have any boundaries, but I just like maybe weirdly thought I owed them something or had some sort of commitment. Like now, if I had a training shift like that, I'd be like, oh, bye, like no question.
Yeah.
To the point where I showed up the next day for my first shift, and the guy who I was training with went up to my manager and was like, I told you he was going to come back.
What a good little boy, just running.
And
back.
I was a good boy. But there was this one time this older man came in who clearly had a big crush on me. I mean, they all did. It was P-Town. I made some money at that restaurant.
You were like, what, 19 and nubile?
Yeah.
Like?
I was 20. That's not what my ID said. But he was like, he kept trying to talk to me like and order more things, and then I would have to deliver it, and then he would try to talk to me and blah blah. And he's like, feel free to sit down and whatever, we can chat. I'm like, I don't think you understand. I work here. I'm serving like 6 tables.
Yeah.
Like truly, I was like, I can't sit down and talk to you. I'm working at work. Also, yeah, I don't know.
My first job in college.
I think it's one of those guys who wants it 'cause he can't have it.
Oh, yeah. As soon as he would have sat down, he would have been
bored as hell.
Yeah.
But he was kind of handsome too, which is another problem. But that's one of my things as well. If you're like really hot and you're trying to flirt with me, I'm not giving you the time of day because you think that I'm going to. Because I'm a Libra and I have this some sort of weird inflated sense of justice about the world where I'm like, I'm a cop. Sorry, we're really getting into it.
That's a red pill manosphere thing that they say the only difference between flirting and sexual harassment is how attractive you are. That's like a very firmly held belief by some of these young guys.
Well, yes, I know that to be true.
You watch 30 Rock or not?
Yeah.
With the bubble, that's what makes me think of with John Hamm, how he's like so handsome that they've told him he's a doctor and like that he's good at motorcycles. My first job in college was at Wings Over. Did you ever have those? It's like a chain.
I would. I'm getting hungry now.
I kind of want to get some wings.
We should get wings after
Let's
this.
do it. But it's called Wings Over, and then wherever it is, so it's like Wings Over Athens, Wings Over Columbus, Wings Over. It's like a good like naming convention.
Yeah.
But I was like 18, freshman in college. I was like, I should get a job. Well, I have a car back home. My mom would let me get that for work, you know. So I signed up, and they sent me all these emails. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like do my due diligence on these emails, but I like signed up, and it was used a software called like When to Work, I think, and I didn't have a login, and I got a call. Where are you? Today's your first day. I go, says who? Like, I have no note. I don't have a login. He goes, well, you can come in and look behind the thing, and we have the schedule printed. I was like, why would I do that? Why would I walk into your store and be like, hey, am I on the schedule? I've never met anybody. Like, it was a phone interview. And, yeah, I was fired on my first day.
Work.
Felt good.
It's better than even getting to know people. And like, who cares?
Yeah, for sure. Well, that was an hour.
Overall, we're going to get wings after this.
Overall, I am so gay. Do I like boys? Is that a... Honestly, since we started this podcast...
Do you want to find out?
All right.